Hello people of the world, Chris McLean again. Today I've been thinking, especially this morning, I've been thinking a lot around the idea of working, in fact just living for something higher than yourself, something bigger than yourself. And the reason I'm thinking about that particularly right now is that I'm actually driving now. I'm on my way to go and pick up a foster dog from one of the vets here in Abu Dhabi. And we have, as I've mentioned, when I was walking out the other day, we have a dog who we picked up from the shelter, I guess 6-7 months ago now, earlier this year. So we picked Harley up from the shelter, and he's just an awesome dog. He is a bit of a dick, but you know, it makes it interesting. He's a fun guy to have around. And lately we've been fostering dogs, which basically, in this country there's so many dogs that just get thrown out in the desert, tied up and left there, or abandoned. And people take them home as puppies, and then when they realise they're a lot of work or they're old and they're not cute anymore, they just dump them. So these shelters and these vets they're just full of animals, and there's just so many dogs up for adoption and so many organisations that have so many dogs. So there's more out there than you could possibly ever help. So we do our bit, and we foster every now and then. And I'm actually just on my way now to go and pick up Joshi, who I believe is a little desert dog. He's a pup, he's under 1 year old, so I'm going to go pick him up and bring him home, because he's been sitting at the vet for a few months now, since his last foster home, and apparently he's really sad and depressed, and you know, he just sits inside this shitty little cage every day with the towel over at the vet with a bunch of other dogs. So it's not a very nice place for him to be. So we'll go and pick him up and bring him home for a couple of weeks, and if he doesn't eat our other dog or vice versa, as long as they get along, we'll hold on to him for a while. And even though it's only 2 weeks, it's 2 weeks of his life that is better than the life he would have had sitting in a cage at the vet. And you know, we'd love to adopt every dog that we bring home, but it'd be a bit of a madhouse, and it's not really something that we can do. But we can foster. We can take a dog and give it a good life for a few weeks, a month, and that's kind of where I'm getting to, and that's what got me thinking around living for something bigger than yourself. Whether it is animals, or whether it's a charity that you like to give to, or just doing work that services other people, that serves other people. And you know, the other aspect of this that's been coming up just over the last couple of days especially, I was talking yesterday about gratitude and the community aspect of SFM, and I've had just amazing feedback on, you know, I've got some apps and I've had some wins, and I just had really stunning positive feedback from the community, and it really helps just keep that motivation. But the other side of that I've found is, you know, I've just been giving advice. I've been saying, hey, great video, talking to people, and just talking about my journey, and even just with people within SFM, just saying, hey, this is the experience I had. I did this and this worked, and people that haven't done that think it's amazing. Whereas, you know, take Facebook marketing. I was chatting to a guy online just before. He has a really, really good setup, a really good market targeting actors, and you know, he said he bought Guy and Alan's product, and he wasn't sure on whether Facebook advertising was good. And I've been doing it for 2 months. You know, I'm hardly an expert, but I just said, hey, you know, throw $5 at it, do this, do that, and he came back saying, you know, that's really inspiring. And g'day Gil, if you're listening to this, and he came back and said, it's really inspired me to give this a crack. And that's really what we're here for. It's not, you know, like we say, it's not about the money at all. It's about helping people. It's about just inspiring people with your story. And your story doesn't have to be amazing. You don't have to be you don't have to be Nelson Mandela to inspire people. Literally, I'm someone that's done some ads and had a bit of success with it. And there's a few people that I can say, hey, this is what I did, and I recommend giving it a go because it works and I've seen results. And that in itself is just enough to inspire people and just maybe get them over that hurdle of self-doubt, or just, you know, being inside their own head. That external validation and, hey, I've done this, give it a crack. that's often enough just to push people on to that next level. And this has happened also just with some leads and some apps and people I've been talking to on my fan page, and I found I've really enjoyed doing that. People come on and I post something. Yesterday, and I posted something about shared one of Richard Branson's posts where he said, I love working in a hammock and in my bathtub. There was a photo of him in the bathtub, and I just shared that out and said, this is the way to go. I spent last week working in the Maldives. Where would you rather be working from? And a couple of people came back and some conversations started, and now I've got a basically PM this girl, and I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but now I've got a personal conversation with this person where I said, this is possible. Her problem was she's got some websites. I keep saying her, it could be him or her. They have a problem with their website. They've got a couple of sites that are up and they're not working, and said, I'm not earning money, but I'd love to afford to go to the Maldives. So I've sparked this conversation, and now here's a person that I can actually help. And all it takes is I've gone back to them and said, hey, I've got some experience in this. I've shot some questions just trying to find out where they're at, what their business is about, how they're doing. And this is a person that I can coach from my experience, bring them into something like SFM, and I've helped that person. And hopefully they go on to successes and they end up being really happy. But just having that ability to know something that somebody else doesn't know and sharing that, I just think that's really damn cool. Surprised I censored myself then too and said, damn. So I think just it's been coming up a lot for me today. Sorry, I just went quiet there. I'm changing lanes and trying not to kill people. It's just been coming up a bit today, and it feels really good just to help people. And it doesn't have to be a lot. All it has to be is a like or a comment. Actually, I think on Facebook a comment is worth a lot more than a like. A like's a bit of a throwaway, to be honest. But if you like something, comment on it. Just say, hey, great video. Hey, I like your work. Hey, your hair looked really good in that video. Whatever. It might just be enough to inspire that person to do something better the next time around. If people ask questions and you've got an answer, whatever it is, whatever you've had experience in, just throw it out there. You never know what answer somebody's looking for, and it might just be yours that they're trying to find. I guess from a broader marketing perspective, that's all we're trying to do as marketers, really, is find people that have problems that we know the answers to. So that's just been rattling around in my brain today, so I thought I'd share that. And maybe I'll once I pick Joshy up, I'll upload some photos of him for you and maybe shoot a bit of video, and you can check that little guy out. So that's my little bit on living for something bigger than yourself. It just feels better. You're helping people. It brightens up your world as much as theirs, and eventually it's going to lead to the success of both of you. So get out there, touch some people, not in a bad way. Touch some people in a nice way, make them feel good, and have a spectacular day. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Ciao.